So hi Daniel, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I am fine. I want to say thank you once again for participating on the channel. And there is something that I would like to share with you that our videos are the ones that people have watched the most. So of all. And not only that, but I don't know if you know this, but in YouTube, you can see the retention. Do I say this? The retention of the video, like how much time, how,
Impression?
mm, no.
Impressions? Or
I mean, because people, I don't know about you, but normally when we go into YouTube, we do not usually watch a full video, like the whole video. We watch some minutes. We take like the idea that, you know, we watch for several minutes.
yeah, and
So
then we keep.
yes, yeah. So YouTube gives you like a statistic on how much time people spend watching that specific video. So there are videos. I'm sorry. Well, a bit ashamed of saying, a little bit embarrassed of saying, but there are some of my videos that people have seen like for 30 seconds.
By the way, I'm a little bit embarrassed to say.
I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that there are some of my videos that people have seen, watched for 30 seconds, and then they stopped it. Like, so YouTube gives you this, like there's a statistic, 20 people watched your video, but they spent each one of them, like, I mean, some might have spent 40 seconds, but in general, like the statistic is that they spent 30 seconds. And I'm like, oh, wow, it was
Well,
not, but it's okay.
30 seconds across the entire video. Because sometimes you watch a video and it just keeps going forward,
Yeah,
forward. And so you
yeah,
get the gist of it, but you don't want to like spend time watching the entire thing.
yeah, yeah. So our video,
Yeah.
the videos that people have spent the most time watching, to watching, watching,
watching, yeah, watching.
watching.
That's
So
nice.
it is because we have some videos that are 30 minutes long. So they spend like the average is 14 minutes. So they watched almost half of the video. And I'm like, okay, so Daniel is interesting because I am the common factor if they're not watching my other videos as you. So thank you for, yeah, so thank you. I
Thank you.
mean,
I'm very flattered. If
not
I
only because of the people, but also because of me.
blush, I
Yeah,
would.
you're shy.
But
You're shy.
possible for me. No, no, I'm flattered. Yeah, I'm shy. I'm a little bit embarrassed. It's impossible for me to get red. I guess I can
Yeah.
get louder, but thank you very much.
No, and then I remembered when I realized that last night as I was watching the statistic, watching, no, I was seeing, was I watching?
Checking it. You're looking at it.
Checking. I was
Yeah.
checking the statistic, and then I remember that you told me
It's
once that you
stats.
almost
You could just say stats rather than going
stats.
statistics.
It's easier. So I was checking the stats, and then I remember that you told me once that you almost said no
Yes.
when I first invited you, and I'm so glad you haven't. So
And if I'm gonna be honest with you, yeah, I told you I almost said no, but if I'm honest with you, when you first wrote me your message, I saw your message late. And when I saw your message late, I was relieved that I saw the message late because I was like, oh no, this will be difficult for me to do.
oh,
But I was like, oh, just, whoa, thank God I saw this really late. But then you said, oh, no, 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 it's not too late.
oh, you said, "Ooh, fuck it."
I was like, oh God. But I don't hate doing this. I actually like I enjoy doing this.
Hmm.
That's
Cool,
good. But
cool. I'm glad.
I still am shy. I still am quite nervous when we do it. But yeah, I enjoy doing it.
No,
And it's
and
nice to hear that people are somehow resonating with whatever I'm saying, although I don't really think that I'm that interesting.
oh, you are, you are.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah. So sorry if I made you a little bit uncomfortable, but moving on. So today we are going to discuss a video called "The Life-Changing Not Giving a Fuck." I forgot the name.
I'm gonna just check it now. The magic of not giving a fuck.
Almost. So the magic of not giving a fuck. So a lot has been said about this not giving a fuck. There is this famous book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. A lot of people have been discussing this
Have
matter,
discussed.
have discussed this matter before. So it's not something really new. Yesterday, I recorded a video with a teacher for the project that I have for my 31st birthday. And we talked about the emotional minimalism.
Okay.
So, how
Emotional
sometimes,
minimalism.
yes, emotional minimalism, it touches upon this idea that we could declutter our houses, but as long as we have too much energy allocated on things like or on things that we do not appreciate, things that we do out of obligation. I mean, we have a lot of things that we do out of obligation. Most people they work because they have to. I mean, I'm no exception. Although I do love my job, sometimes we have to do what we have to do and put
Right.
on happy face and do it anyway. But I think there are things that we can choose, that we can decide to spend our time, focus, energy, and money on. So I would like to ask you, what do you think about? I mean, she talks in the video that giving fucks means caring about things. And so we have like this limited numbers of fucks to give because we do not have like this infinite energy.
Okay.
Sorry,
We have like an abundance of energy or something.
abundance. I like the word abundance of energy. So we need to choose carefully. So she brings this example of of like having an invite to a party and being a really huge fan of Game of Thrones. And so you need to look at those things and realize what matters the most to you so you can do what you feel what is right for you. But sometimes we think that we are going to offend people by choosing things.
Hmm.
So I would like to ask you, how do you, what do you think about this topic, and how honest how honest you are with the things that you love, the things that matter to you, and how much you try to please people in a sense, or not disappoint people with your
Right.
choices.
Um, well, I don't think I think well I'm not old, but the older I grow, the less I think about like pleasing people. But I think just as a person who is mindful of other people that I live around. I mean, I'm not just an individual. And mostly in my life, I think when I think of things, maybe this is bad. I don't really consider myself. Sorry about the Skype sounds. It's a
Your
student.
students, I know.
So, what was I? Yeah. So I don't consider myself like just individually in a lot of things that I do. Generally, I always think, and I think just being not so religious at this point anymore, like a lot of my morality and a lot of just my ethics is based on how my actions are like reflected on other people around me. And so it's difficult for me to say that I cannot give a fuck of what people like feel when I do things. I do do that, but I have accepted my inability to please everyone. Although just again being just thinking of how people feel, I think that it's not possible that people will not be offended when you, for example, with the party thing, if someone invites me for a party, as has been, this is something that's happened to me a couple of times, and I've said no, the person will be invited, and I can decide not to give a fuck about the person will be offended. Sorry, I can decide not to give a fuck about the person's feelings or actually do care of how the person feels because it's not possible that the person will not be offended, even if you say, if even if you're being honest. Our honesty, a lot of times, are in our need to be honest. We hurt a lot of people's feelings, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be honest, but people's feelings are hurt, and so I think that it's impossible for me to say like I don't think about that. I do think about that, and sometimes I make decisions just based on how my actions or how my decisions would be like perceived or received by other people. If it's not necessary, if I feel like the amount of for example, she uses a baby shower, right? In her exam, in her, she talks about this baby shower, about being invited to a baby shower of somebody that you don't like. It's easy to say no to something like that. You don't like the person, but
Mm-hmm.
imagine being invited to a baby shower of someone that you like, or a couple that you like the one part of the couple, you like one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't like the
Mm-hmm.
other person.
Yeah.
You care about maybe your brothers. You care about your brother, nice cup. You care about your
Mm-hmm.
brother, but you don't care about his wife or something, you're going to hurt somebody in that
Yeah.
decision. And I think when there is a lot of distance, with a lot of our examples, it's possible to create distance in those situations. But when you cannot create that distance, I personally cannot not give a fuck about things like that. I do things uh, thinking about how they will affect other people. Yes, as I grow, I have accepted I cannot please everyone. And if it's impossible for me I will not make myself inconvenient, uncomfortable, or I'll not like inconvenience myself in order to please someone so
Mm-hmm.
much. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of things that are not necessarily inconvenient, and like we can just do them. There are a lot of things I can do for people in my family, for example, that may not be what I want to do, but it doesn't really take anything from me.
Yeah.
So why not? Why not just give a fuck in that moment? And so I do things like that sometimes. I do
Mm-hmm.
things just because of how they affect other people's lives. I understand the appeal of like wanting to just be able to say, okay, that is not something I want to do. I'm not going to stress myself. Like she said, she quit her job, she went to some island or whatever. A lot of us cannot really do that. It takes a level of like, a lot of us cannot do that no matter how
I
much we
know.
want, because we do live in a society. We have people around us. It's not easy
Yeah.
to do something like that.
No.
I don't think it's easy, and I don't think it should be expected of people to not give a fuck to that level. Definitely don't hurt yourself trying to help another person or trying to fix another person. But um, personally, I don't think that it is necessary to detach yourself from things like that you feel are not your responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
If sometimes they're not things you want to do. I mean, going to a baby shower of a family member whose like partner you hate, who won't really hurt you. It won't really like do anything to you. So why not just pick yourself up and sit down there for like 3 hours and then go home?
3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like to be nice. Definitely working in a soul crushing place, quit. Yeah,
Yeah.
working in a soul crushing like establishment, definitely quit. I would quit. I have quit in places that I was just terribly unhappy. But it's just like levels, I think. It's not very possible to
Yeah.
totally not give a fuck.
No,
I,
interesting. Interesting what you said about levels. I like that. There are things that are harmful. No, no harmful. What am I saying?
harmful.
Harmful. And what does it mean harmful? Sorry.
But they could cause damage.
They could cause. So
Damage, yeah.
yes. So how do I say if they harmless?
No, they could cause or they don't cause damage,
They
for
don't
example.
cause damage. I
Oh,
mean,
harmless.
harmless. Oh, that was easier on you. Harmless. There are things that are harmless. Like, I mean, it, you care about the person. Our 3 hours. I mean, 3 hours of our lives, and we do have a limited amount of time as well. But it is harmless. You couldn't be doing something else with your time. So, oh, a favor that a family member asks us or a friend. If it is okay, I mean, I think we should help people. If we can, we should definitely yes. But I think I am considering. I'm thinking about this topic a lot because I don't always know. It is not always apparent to me or for
Apparent.
apparent, yes, apparent to me, that when I say yes to something, I am saying no to a lot of other things, a lot. But I think it's general. I think we do not realize that our time and energy and money, everything is very limited. So when someone asks you something, when someone asks you what asks something from you, and you give it to that person, it means that y- you need to do that consciously, consciously,
Just me, sure.
yes, because you're giving time and you could be doing something else with your time. You could help, but you need to know what you are giving up to be there.
Yeah, but
So
could you really know everything that you're giving up? You know, that's the thing.
that's the thing. I think the thing is that we do too much. And we think that we need to be busy all the time. And if we are just resting that not very wisely used time, time used wisely.
Hmm. No, well, I get what you're saying. And last time I told you, like, doing nothing is doing something.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've been
so
contemplating this. Yeah.
doing nothing. And sometimes, yes, you should say no and just sit
Mm,
down at home because that's better for you, you
yeah.
know. And I just, yeah, the one thing is that there has to just be levels to it. You cannot
Yeah.
just go like, no, no, like this with the thing of things that don't bring you joy. I mean, not everything in the world is going to bring you joy. It doesn't mean you have to avoid those things,
Yeah.
you know. And you cannot just go, I don't think, well, I'm not going to say you can't do it because it's possible. I guess this lady in the video did it. But I don't think you should go around just saying no to everything that you don't want
Yeah.
to do just because you don't want to do them. I mean, there's a there are consequences to like these things that we do, and we
Mm,
do live in a society. I think that is one thing to really consider because most of the things you don't want to do are things for other people, but there is a good to doing things for other people.
yeah.
I mean, we have to function together. So although it is nice to just say no when you don't want to do something and just like push everything away. I mean,
Yeah.
there are levels. I think there are just levels to it
Mm-hmm.
that we need to consider generally. But yeah, consider what you're giving your energy to and let it be worth it. Let it be worth it. But sometimes just do stuff because
Just, I have a question for you, Daniel. Do you think, I mean, do you think it is a culture thing? Because as Brazilian, we are very,
sorry, the network is a little bit bad
I'm
right
sorry.
now.
Do you
So
think it is a cultural thing?
yeah,
Like,
this is
is it better? I'm not sure if it is mine. I'm very distant from the modem. Sorry.
it's
Maybe
better now.
it's better now? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was asking you, if you think it is a culture thing, because as a Brazilian, I find it harder to say no than like my students, for example, the friends or my friends that are from other parts of the world. They have they could say no easily, and they do not feel the need of explaining why they're saying no. Sometimes
They
they
don't
would
feel
just say
the need. Sorry, they don't
they.
feel the need to explain.
Yeah, what did I say? I know it was it.
Need of explaining, but
Okay.
they don't need to explain.
They yeah they didn't feel the need to explain why they're saying no. They just say. I remember asking a friend like, let's have a phone call, and he said, tomorrow maybe, not today. And then I was like, tomorrow maybe, not today. As a Brazilian, I think it is a culture thing, a personal thing as well. But if I would have to say no to someone, I would explain why, and I would let that person think that I really wanted to do that thing that I might not want to. The reason might be I don't want to, but I would come up with an excuse. So because I think that the other person would feel better if I made the other person feel important. So I was wondering if that was the case for you, if it's cultural, if it's
Well, yeah,
personal.
I did have no. I think it's just probably not cultural because a lot of people from Nigeria say no easily, but
Yeah.
maybe just like your upbringing.
Mm,
It has a lot to do with your childhood and like our childhoods and like the general need to please people probably. But or to make people like you, because I had this problem also. I found it
mm,
difficult to say no. It's not something that I've gotten rid of. A lot of times, yes, I do say no, and I think it's important to learn how to say no and
yeah.
not feel the need to give some ridiculous explanation, not feel the need to stress yourself with a lie. I think it is important to learn how to say no. And it's something
Mm,
that I'm still learning to do, to just simply
yeah.
say no. Because
Yeah.
most of the time, those people don't care why you're saying no. If I ask somebody to do something with me and the person says no, most of the time I don't really care why they're saying no. I don't need a reason. If they don't want to do it, it's fine. So yeah, it's important to learn how to say no, but I do have that problem sometimes, and I think it's just generally. I'm going to speak for myself. I think when you have, as a child, if you have some moment in your life when you are not necessarily liked or you're not
Yeah.
in a very liked person, and you have this point where you want to be liked by people, you develop this like also you want to be needed by people, and a lot of us have that just generally in the world. A lot of people want to be liked, a lot of people want to be needed. And they say, no, I don't think it's necessarily cultural. It's just like a thing
Yeah.
of our childhood, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it is important to learn how to say no. I will say that. Sometimes I have problems saying no. Again, it depends on the distance from like the situation. If it's somebody I know, like just that I see very rarely and stuff, I can easily say no. But if someone from my family, if one of my sisters asks me to do something that I know that I actually cannot do, or maybe I don't want to do, like I need to find a reason not to do it before. Like if
Hmm.
I don't want to do it, I just have to find a reason because
Yeah.
I don't want to disappoint them. I want them to not. I don't want them to feel like I cannot be there for them. Uh, but like I should learn to say no to them sometimes and just
Yeah.
say no, you know. But it's a problem. But I don't think it's cultural. I just think it's the
Hmm.
like from our and the general need to be liked by people or needed
Yeah.
by people
Yeah.
if you were not as a
If
child.
we're not. Yes. Yes. I think that when, because it is not, when we say no to people or to things, it is not necessarily like we are disrespecting that person or sending a message that we don't like them or we don't want to spend time with them. I think it is, I think we need to learn how to say that so other people can say that too. And because the opposite, like the alternative would be people doing things for us. I like I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want someone spending time with me knowing that this person didn't want it, didn't want to be there. So if I invite a friend over for something and then the friend comes, but actually the friend would rather stay or be somewhere else, I wouldn't want that. It's not fair. Like I would want that person to have what that person, if I love the person, I want that person to be happy and
You're
comfortable and
very
doing the
nice.
things, not like I'm here with you because I couldn't say no to you because I was scared or ashamed or whatever. That's not what we want. So I think when once we learn to how to say no,
A lot
people,
of people don't mind if like I think a lot of people don't mind if you're there because you don't want to say no. I think a lot of people are just like, if you say no, then don't. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you decide that you cannot say no, then it's your problem. You're gonna
yes,
see.
but
But you're nice. You're a nice person. Because honestly, if I tell, well, generally I don't like ask people to do things with me or for me if I know like they would not want to do it. But
mm-hmm,
if I asked somebody to do something and they said yes, and then they came over and I could see from their face that they're uncomfortable, just for the fun of it, I wouldn't say anything. I just let you deal with
that is
just let you
well,
deal with your
really.
stress.
Oh
I
my
just
god.
let you stress. When you're ready to like go, you'll go. No,
Yeah, yeah.
I kid.
No, yeah. I have some friends that they can be very insistent on things. Like I have I have some friends like that that they were not now because we're in the middle of this pandemic, but before they would say, "Let's get a beer." I don't drink beer, but they would, "Let's have a drink," or whatever. And then I'll say, "Oh, sorry, my excuses were I have to read," and they wouldn't accept. Sorry. Um, yeah. And then I stopped like saying that I had to read, and I would say that I have to do something important in the house. They would come. They would literally like show up on my door and say, "Let's go. You need this." And I wouldn't want to go, but once I was there, I would have a good time.
Of course,
So
sure.
once I was there, I was like, "Oh, thank God you brought me here." I would stay home like the whole day, stuck on those like books and thoughts, and
Right.
yeah,
If people came to my house without telling me, they would stay outside.
really, you wouldn't open your door.
This has happened a couple of times. You
You're
cannot
kidding
just
me.
come to someone's house without telling the person and expect the person to just like open the door for you. If I said, come to my house, then come. If I don't invite you, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
something I learned from my mother. You
Really?
know, no, because you cannot just show up at people's houses. I think it's very wrong. No matter how much you want me to go out. Luckily I live very far from most of my friends, and I don't think any of my friends would ever do something like that. It just
Yeah.
I don't think they care that much. If you just
I'm
say no, okay.
I'm now picturing someone in love with you because in Brazil, in my mom's times, like I don't know how to say my mom's times. Uh,
Days.
in my mom's days, people, especially men, I mean, men, only men, they would do that. They would come to your house with your the band and flowers, and then they would. We call this serenade. You
Yeah,
had
yeah,
it.
sir.
I
The
was
music.
imagining someone doing this for you, and then you're like,
Hear it
"That's not."
because my windows aren't usually open. And if
Oh,
someone starts throwing rocks at my windows like American films, the first thing I'll think is, who is this stupid person that wants to break my property? I don't know why American films think that is romantic to damage people's property for love. So if you're throwing
I
rocks
love.
at my window, first and foremost, who is paying for the glass that will probably break?
Okay, I'll
Second,
go out with you, but pay for it, please.
people live on the street. Honestly, if I lived on the street and someone was serenading another person while I'm just trying to have a relaxing afternoon or evening, I would call the police.
Wow.
Because why is that my problem? It's not cute. Honestly, it really isn't.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
And
I don't find it. I don't find it interesting or appealing. I don't. I mean, I wouldn't want someone to. I mean, it is a bit
no, we
romantic,
joke, of
yes, but
course, but no, I think like a lot of these films and stuff, when I see them in the movies, people think that it's cute, but in real life, it's just going to be really annoying for other people around. Again, it's the thing about living with people. You don't
yeah,
live alone. You don't
yeah.
go to someone's window and start yelling when the person has family sleeping.
No,
It does not make
yes,
sense.
yes. Something I find we don't do that in Brazil, not that I'm aware of. Like it's getting on your
Think
knee
it's in
and
real
if,
life.
huh? Sorry?
I don't think it happens in real life anywhere. Do you
No, but
think?
no, but I was going to mention. I think that happens proposing in public
Oh,
spaces. I
oh
think
yeah.
Americans do that. I mean, I don't know if other cultures do this too, like
Yeah.
getting on
They
one's
do.
knee and with a ring. And I've never seen this in a restaurant or anywhere, but I would be a little bit uncomfortable, like if someone next to me was
If I were a
proposing.
woman and I was being proposed to in public, I just say no. Just because, like, what do you? Even if I want to say yes, I'd say no. Because why does it have to be a whole spec? Why do you have to put the person on the spot and
Yeah.
just like make? I'd say no just for the fun of it. Yeah. I think it's ridiculous to make a whole scene for a proposal. I don't know. Again, people just like to
But
be
do you
like,
think is it real? Do you think does it happen
oh, it does happen.
in
Yeah, in
real life?
Nigeria,
This,
it
yeah,
does happen in
in Algeria
Nigeria.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh well, it might happen here too. I've never seen it. Thank God, I
I've
guess.
actually not seen a Ukrainian do that
Really?
because I think, yeah, because I think Ukrainians are very indifferent about things like that. I think if you went on your knees, in American films, when people go and everyone goes like, oh, I think
Yeah.
Ukrainians should just keep walking and minding their business. Nobody cares about it because I don't know why people like that. I really don't know why that is a memory that people want. I'd be too nervous expecting a no because how are you so sure?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, the person must be really confident that the other person is going to say yes, otherwise they wouldn't do it. I mean, wow. Yeah. How did we get here?
I know, I was just thinking about that.
Yes. But anyway, our time is almost up. I would like to say thank you. It's always so fun to talk to you, Daniel.
It
I
is.
Yeah, so I hope you have like an awesome weekend.
I hope
And
so. And you
yeah,
too. I hope you have
yeah,
a good weekend.
yeah.
Oh, I have one question, just like for follow up, I guess. What happened with your neighbor?
Thing so far.
Oh,
Anything.
nothing, right? Oh, you've not met on the like you've not met in the elevator again on the stairs, nothing.
No, nothing. Yeah, no. But I was very worried and trying to be very, how do you say,
Yeah,
conscious, like, and also well dressed because the first day I
uh,
was wearing my
so
pajamas
you were
and
looking out your door.
yeah, yeah, I'm. But yeah, so far anything. Something weird that happened was the doorman asking me if I was living alone. I mean, but maybe doormans, maybe they are. I mean, they do that. Maybe they ask questions. But I wondered, like, he was asking for any reason, particularly.
Maybe
Other,
someone else was coming into your apartment.
sorry.
If someone else came in and said they lived on the same
Yeah,
in the same
maybe.
apartment
Yeah,
with her.
maybe. Or maybe the guy asked doorman to ask me. So I mean, probably not. Doesn't matter.
Wasn't probably not
No.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe next time I'll have something to share with you. Then.
Oh, I'll be looking forward to it. I will not sleep because of this.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, thank you. Have a great weekend, Daniel. Until next time. Yes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.